My wife, 35 female, confessed to an affair that ended 6 months ago. I have been married to my wife for 8 years. We have 2 kids. And our marriage have been great with the normal ups and downs. The day before yesterday, I came home to find my wife had cooked for me my favorite meal for dinner. The kids were at her sister's place. She basically said we need to talk. That's when she confessed to having an affair for 6 months, which ended when the pandemic started and her AP had gone back to his country. They continued an EA for a few months before they decided to call it off completely by mid-June. App was one of her loyal clients. She owns a business which I helped her establish. I had met him several times. He is indeed a charming guy who can attract a lot of women. I was totally blindsided by this cuz I was so caught up with my work and I may have missed or ignored some few red flags. She told me that she had been going to the therapy since the end of May and her therapist helped her to break off the affair and had tried to convince her not to tell me, but lately she had been overwhelmed by guilt and when she spoke to her mom. She told her to come clean. She of course wants us to work through this and has offered to do anything. This whole time I have just been numb. I really don't know what to do anymore. I still love her very much, the pain is too much and I haven't eaten or slept. Please help. I personally feel that once my partner has been with someone else cheating, I could never be physical with them again. I would always have that picture of them being with someone else in my head. Cheating is such a huge abuse of the trust you gave them no matter what the circumstance. I also expect my partner to feel the same if I would cheat. If you can get past all of that, good for you. But I wouldn't be able to. Keep in mind that the affair lasted for months. This wasn't a one-time drunken mistake, it was the result of hundreds of conscious decisions that she made day after day, which ended only when she no longer had physical access to him. You can't trust her. She even lied to you about the therapy. The therapist did not tell her to keep it a secret, no good therapist would. If he did, then she has a shitty therapist and her therapy did not fix anything. You should get a therapist, not hers, and a lawyer to at least find out what your options are. First, see a lawyer to find out how to best protect yourself in the event this is too much to overcome as a couple. Your mind is in no place to make a decision on committing to any path right now. You need to get into IC, no MC yet. Give yourself a minimum of a month to settle your emotions before committing to either reconciliation or divorce. Personally, cheating is a fucking no-go. End of relationship and all future communications go through the lawyers. Here's a pro tip. Therapists will generally not try to convince people to lie to their significant others. They will help people work through their emotions. Your wife didn't end the affair. A freak virus did. A divorce lawyer and a personal therapist is what you need. A licensed marriage therapist is what you need right now. I'd suggest that you first start counseling by yourself and then, if you're ready, with your wife. Only a counselor, and certainly not Reddit, can help you decide if your marriage is able to be saved and how to protect the children in all of this. Honestly, I'd leave. She only left after he left. Honestly, cheating is trauma, you don't do that to someone you love. Well, first of all, I want you to go to the therapist and ask, why in God's green earth did you think it was a good idea for my wife to keep this affair a secret? And then check to see if that therapist even has qualifications, because any reputable therapist would never advise that. Second of all, I would put forth zero effort in trying to repair a marriage that I never broke in the first place. I do not tolerate cheaters. But, if you want to waste your time trying to reform a cheater, be my guest. I would never believe a cheater that says they would never cheat again. She only stopped because he left. It would have kept going on. You are setting a horrible example for your children by staying with someone that did this to you. Yeah. The affair only ended because he left the country, and it was no longer convenient. She said they mutually decided to end the EA. Let's be real, she got dumped when it wasn't physical anymore. Kudos to her for coming clean on her own, but definitely advise with a divorce lawyer, regardless of if you plan to stay or divorce. At least learn your options. Not many people would be able to stay after that. She only stopped because of the pandemic. She will cheat again. It wasn't a one-time thing. Fuck her. Also, I'm pretty sure she'd get in trouble for sleeping with a client. Please be kind to yourself. You deserve to be with someone who loves and respects you as much as you do them. Your wife has shown she doesn't care about you. You have to leave. It's better than staying in a broken marriage. A conscious choice was made over and over and over again. This will hang over your head like a dark cloud. Always wondering. Once they break the seal, the second, third, fourth time is easy. Save yourself some future agony and move on. That's brutal, man. Personally, I wouldn't be able to get over it because 1, it went on so long, and 2, it only really ended because he left, not because she had some kind of realization that what she was doing was wrong. You were her second choice, man. I think you need to leave her. Best of luck. 6 months. He probably ended it. She would still fuck him if she could. Gather all evidence, lawyer up and divorce that trash. Do not give her a heads up. Surprise her or she might lawyer up as well. Secure your most treasured items. Cheaters are the most selfish things to exist. They are emotional sadists and I don't know how they function in their human suits. I would divorce so fast that only my shadow would be left to give her the finger. All you will be showing her is that if she wants to screw someone, you will forgive her. Teach her the hard lesson, even if it means that you don't get her with the lesson learned, because if you stay, it will happen again, I guarantee it. Once they've cheated, leave. They will always do it again no matter the amount of counseling, promises or therapy. Just leave. It'll save you heartbreak later. No one can really help you, man. You need a week or so to stop being so numb, and then really figure out what you want to do. Divorce. Just work through it. Work through it while incorporating some level of payback. Maybe a revenge affair. Maybe more than one. Or whatever else will give you a level of satisfaction that brings the relationship back into balance, from your perspective. Those are 3 shitty options. Maybe there are others, but I believe that if I were you, it would be one of those 3. Can't imagine myself choosing number 2, to be honest. There are situations where cheating is forgivable, and situations where it isn't. I'd put this one in the unforgivable category. This affair was months long, absolutely intentional, and she had a long-term connection, not just unconnected sex, with him. And then there's the lying. While cheating can be forgiven in a lot of situations, lying is much harder. Once trust is gone, it's almost impossible to recover, so even if your head says you want to forgive and move on, your heart will never forget. If you stay, buckle up because things are going to get turbulent. I really don't think she is seeing a therapist if they are trying to convince her not to tell you about the affair. It just doesn't make sense for a therapist to tell that to a patient who is trying to overcome guilt about cheating on their spouse. Tears of joy, I love how your favorite meal was cooked, like that's going to help this. In fact, from here on out you will associate he telling you that she fucked someone else with that meal. Sorry for your troubles though, I'd suggest lawyering up, there is no fixing this. Yeah, fuck that, honestly. Leave her, no one deserves that mate. Focus on yourself, you're young and you can literally do anything you want instead of feeling incompetent just because she is a friggin' horrible person. Had there been no pandemic, she would still be carrying on. Get a viscous lawyer and put an end to her control over you. Bro, fuck her mom. Everyone has different things in a relationship that are boundaries they cannot move past if broken. She obviously broke you trust, but if this is something the two of you can work through and develop a healthy and mutually respectful relationship, then that's what matters. I hope you can come to the best decision for you. I am going to say something that will be completely unpopular on Reddit. It is simply not true that cheaters always cheat again. Any more than anyone else who does something wrong always does it again. It is perfectly possible for a human being to realize the error of their ways and choose to do something different. I have known this to be the case in a number of instances. That being said, it will be a long, difficult haul. Your relationship will never be the same, though incredibly, it can not only survive but thrive if both people choose to commit to it, with the right counseling and a supportive community. Of course, you have the right to set the conditions by which it goes forward. If she shows any unwillingness to meet those conditions, then there really is no way to repair it. Divorce, but just make sure your kids don't get shitty parenting. If they do, their lives could be ruined. What I would in this situation is end the marriage. I think you need alone time to process and think and feel the death of the relationship. You can't heal something that is dead. After emotionally healing from this, you can think about what to do going forward. To stay with her, you'd need to forgive her, so this alone time would be good for you to see if you really want to be with her. If you still want, you can go back to her and start a new relationship. Your wife knew what she was risking by having an affair to begin with. She doesn't get points just because she decided to clear her conscience by coming clean. Forgive her, not for her but for you, and move on. 1. It only ended because they couldn't physically see each other anymore. 2. Emotionally they weren't compatible, so it further ruined what they had. 3. That therapist sucks for telling her to omit the truth. I hope you know that once the pandemic is over she will cheat once more.